I wasn't born there. I was born in Buffalo. And one of the interesting things people always ask is, I lived in the streets for a long time. Now, I'm not saying that to get your sympathy, so I'm not saying it for that, okay? I think people ask about that because most people don't live in the street. And sometimes it's not easy for me to approach that subject, but I will, because it was an important part of my life. I spent, I don't know if it was 15 years on the street. All winters, no heat, everything. And I did it out of choice. I mean, I didn't have any money, but I had to do something. So, and it was a point in my life. I was born in a time when there was segregation. So, meaning I'm black and I had to live here. I couldn't live over there or there or there or there. You know about that. So I'm not going to stay on that point too long. And a lot of things happen because of that. Not violent. I mean, I've had fights, yes, but not to be angry. And I learned a lot. And you can learn a lot when you're living like that, because most people who live in the street, you walk by them and, yeah, nothing. Some people froze to death. It helped me to understand, to love people, every human being. Now, that's a long story, but when you don't have anything, not only no one, but you have nothing, material or food, it can change who you are, or you can just die in it. So, I refused to die, I mean then, so I thank God. And the idea was to keep pushing and be central and see what happens. The first 3 or 4 days of that period was probably the most difficult thing in my life, because in New York it's very violent, can be very violent. It can be very nice, it has everything. And at that time, they were burning, setting fire to homeless people. Kids, children. And it's interesting that you have to find a way to lay down and go to sleep with 8 million people walking over you, and you have no protection. So that'll either strengthen you or break you. Of the poor, I've seen people freeze to death, people with guns blowing your head off, dogs, rats that big. If you live that every day and then still try to play music, you change. There's a lot more, I'm going to go into a lot of it, but it makes you understand people a lot. Because we're all the same, even though we got different things and prejudices and hate and love. All of us have that. But essentially, we're all the same. We eat, sleep, do things, love, fight, and do it. We all do the same things. But the thing I learned was love. In spite of everything. Even if somebody hated you, you still treat them. That changes you. Before it was to fight. we're all the same. And so I learned that. We all need the same thing, not about money and all that, but, and so the music changed. I didn't play avant-garde just to play avant-garde. It was, I grew up playing bebop and playing, you know, Louis Armstrong and whoever. But in the street, it changed you. Avant-garde or free music, it's not about the music, it's about your life. To me, it was about my life, not about just trying to learn to play how to play that. So that matriculated in the 60s, 70s into that. So anyway, that's part of, if you have any questions about that, I can tell you because it's just so much. You see a lot of violence.
Can I ask Father
suicide.
Can I ask Father about this? So, when you were homeless, you've been with the other people in the groups, or you just
No, well, when we were homeless, or I was, you knew people. I mean, you had, I'm sort of a loner, but you can develop a friendship, but it could be for a day or a week. People are trying to survive.
Okay, and they would do everything.
And they didn't have soup kitchens then. They had more programs, a lot of churches and things to feed people. They didn't have that then.
Okay.
So you eat peanut butter and jelly almost every day. You saw violence when the people were sleeping. The cops would come along, and can you imagine laying down going to sleep, and the cop comes along with that stick and beats your feet? You can die from shock from that. That's how violent it can be, and I don't want to talk about violence too much. So there's a lot. I just can't go into all of that. I'm not saying it because it's special or you're just as special, even if you're rich, it doesn't matter. Everybody goes through something. So I don't want to make like, oh, that's the big deal, and I'll make a big deal out of it. That was just my life. One winter, it came to a winter that would never being around heat. If I went in a warm place, I couldn't stay in it because your blood was changing or something. One winter, which I do remember, it was difficult to wake up in the cold, and that's when people die, because you feel a warm spot and you can't pull yourself out of it, and that's, you're going. It's interesting because a lot of people think, oh, you just froze to death and the cold killed you. No, you hit a warm spot and you feel comfortable.
And fall asleep,
it's not real. So one winter I decided, or it was decided for me, that I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't going to live through another one. So eventually I found an apartment. So that's all I'll get into that. So the next spring I found an apartment. So that's what happened with that. There's a lot of details in it, but I can't sit here and talk about 15 years or something. So if you have any questions about it, to me it's more important to answer about the heart and people's hearts as opposed to poverty. If you want to do poverty, just don't eat for a week or two. You'll see what it is. You know, eat peanut butter or jelly for 2 or 3 a month. And if I'm standing outside, hungry, and drinking coffee, people come by and put money in the coffee, so that didn't work too good. But no, it's fine. So those are the things that I just want to get that out of the way, because a lot of people wrote about it, and I didn't really tell anybody, but they knew. they know you, so they just say he's on the street and you want a gig or something, or no gigs. But I just come over to Europe, and I didn't know where to go back home. I didn't know, go back to New York. I didn't know I was going to go to sleep, so sleep on airplanes and what it can do. That's enough about that. My life, after a while, I'm a Christian. I grew up, a lot of people say they grew up in a church. I'm not Catholic or anything like that, or what Protestant, but I didn't live that life. I lived a very street life. In the street, everybody was shooting heroin and drugs, getting high, dying young. Those are my friends. All of them are dead, been dead. It was a tough life, fighting. I got throat and everything. You learn how to fight to defend yourself. People antagonize you because you're poor or you look bad. A lot of people got out of Bellevue Hospital for the mentally, and they would just put them in the street. So those were your friends, and they would kill you right there. I mean, they could turn on you because their mind is just like that. So that's that. There's a lot. My life is different, maybe because I grew up. My great-grandmother was a slave. I knew her. I grew up in a segregated black and white thing. I feel bad about it. It's just, it's part of life. I'm not trying to get pity. If you go to this neighborhood, you had to fight. Your parents, you can't move over there. You have to, you can't eat in that restaurant. You got to do that. That's hard. When your mother or father tells you, no, you can't go in there, or it's a different life. So you don't want to treat people. It still exists in different countries, and even people of the same color, same everything, have prejudice against each other. So I'm just saying that because it's true. We all have favorites. It's either ingrained or whatever it is. Eventually, one day, I used to carry books. I like books and puzzles and languages. I had the Quran, I had the Egyptian Book of the Dead, I had the Bible, and I had a couple other books. Read them all. But it turned out that I read the Bible, then I read it again, and I don't mean the church. And and somehow Christ. It was Christ. I read something that said, love your enemy, do good to those who hate you and would persecute you. That turned me around. When I read that, then everything else fell in place. Even if I had a man one time come to me 2 years ago. He was from Palestine, and he was a psychiatrist. And he came to me and said, well, he had talked to me a couple of years ago. I didn't remember that, but he was a practicing psychiatrist, and he went home in Palestine, and he decided to help the people in war, bandage, because people were attacking Palestine, Israel, the whole thing. So he was sort of losing it, I guess. So he asked me what to do. I mean, why are you asking me what to do? So I asked him if someone is there who had just killed one of your friends, and your friend shot this person, and this person was bleeding, who was your enemy, would you help him? And he couldn't get to the answer to that. So I said, not because I said it, I didn't create anything out here. The planet, nothing. No morals or nothing. Nobody who created moralities. I asked him, if you can't help him, your enemy, bandage him up, you might take him to prison, I don't know, and help him, then you don't understand love. There's an expression that said, if you love only those that loved you, what have you gained? It's hard to love your enemy. And until you can, you do not love. You're prejudiced. No, you don't want anybody to shoot you or hurt you. You don't want that. We understand that. So we got that straight. We talked for an hour, and this is not about me. It's about whoever's morality. It is not about Charles. So I'm getting ready to go play. We were in a hotel. He talked, and he went, I went. I go back. So I'm getting ready to go to a gig and play. I'm ready to play. So here he comes again. He said, well, what do I do if someone breaks in my house and wants to kill my kids? I don't want to talk about death all the time. That was a tough one. The only thing that I could come up with is your intent to kill him or stop him? That's your answer. I don't know any other answer. Do you want to just kill him, or do you want to stop him if you have a choice? Now, sometimes you have to do it so quick, you have to do something. I don't know what his answer, what he did, what he was thinking, because we never talked about it. That's the biggest lesson I've ever learned in my life, is a lesson of love. Not because I'm black, or you're white, or you're green, or whatever your color is. No. If you can love those who hate you, then that's love. And you'll know it when you do it. You'll know you're a different person. That changed my whole life. Now, everybody in here is not religious. I understand that. And I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not here to do that. I'll sing if you want, but I won't do that. That's one of the biggest gains you have before you die. There's money is not going to help it. Special privileges, being here, none of this means anything. If you cannot love everyone, you've wasted your life. You're just living. Not because I said so, but because you have to stand up and say, again, not religion, that Christ was wrong. You have to say, he's a bunch of garbage, it's a lie. Now, you can say that, you have to prove it. Okay? Well, I don't get into the whole thing about the Bible. That's not what I'm here to do today. It's about love. It's very hard to meet people who can do that. They can say it, but to really put yourself in a position to do it. That's the biggest lesson I've ever learned in my life. Most people walk away from that. There's enough food in this world to feed everybody, but we don't do it. To help everybody, but we don't do it. I'm not saying it because of being poor. That's because of one thing. We don't love each other.
Yeah.
That's why we don't do it. We create our own moralities. And we didn't create anything out here, yet we create what we think is right or wrong. And we don't even create babies. We're made to have babies, but you didn't put that stuff in you to have babies. You see, we're just built that way. So that's my life. I play. I don't know why I play because I like to play, but I'm not really interested in playing music. It comes out musical, but just express like anybody. You're an artist. You're just trying to express yourself. So I can't say anything special about that. I don't know if I'm good or bad. I don't feel like I'm anything special or anything like that. Other than that, I don't know. If you want to know something that you want to talk about, fine. Not religion or nothing like that. I just grew up in a violent world. That's all I know. Daily, from the day I was born. And I did, just like a lot of people, a lot of things I regret. I've hurt people. I don't mean like this, just misused people. I still cry about that, you know. That's all I know. I try to help everybody. Somebody put their hand, I'll give them something. If I have money, I give it away. That's not me. I'm not rich, I don't have it, you know. I live day to day like most people, I don't have a lot of money. But to help, the idea is, with me, is just to help people. I'm not trying to keep money to help people, to serve people. That's all. Nothing else. You need something, I've got it, it's yours. You want this, you need it, you got it, it's yours. I'll just go find another one if I can. I don't know anything else. I grew up boxing. When I grew up, we couldn't be in sports because of our color. So we could box. That's why there were so many black boxers. That was the one sport that we could get into around the world. So I grew up in the projects where there was all kinds of people, I mean, Africans, but and you had kids fight. So I learned how to fight. It came in handy sometimes, you know. As I got older, it got to be guns. They're still doing it now. People just, and it's a different life. Most of us grow up, have families, go to school, get an education sometimes. That's good. You know. I was in marches in the 60s, 70s, you know, stuff like that. People call your house and they threaten you because you say something, and they threaten to kill you. That's scary. You walk out the house, you don't know if you're going to live. That still is going on in some sections of New York. Very violent. I think it'll go away eventually, but people driving cars and just your kids. That's hard to live in that. You never get used to that. It's not. Nobody wants. Everybody. You don't want to die. I mean, nobody's looking for that. But otherwise, you have to stay in the house in some areas. Don't go out after 6 o'clock. That's the kind of life you don't want that. You know, if you have children or you're going to have children, or you have friends, the best you can do is to teach them to love everybody. You know, we lie, we cheat, we steal. We do all these things. And everybody in here is full of lies, you know it. You stole cookies from your mother when you know this. We all done it one way or another. I only tell people, if I had a daughter, I tell her don't give him sex unless he marries you. We make love like it's a joke. We get together, everybody, we go up, have sex and everything. We have to get babies, you don't like them, you throw them in the toilet. That's disgusting. They use the word abortion. You're killing your kids. Don't lie about it. Because it's inconvenient. That's just, you can paint any picture you want. That's what you're doing. It's not me, it's just what it is. If I had a daughter, I got sons. If I had a daughter, I'd tell them, I can't tell your daughter what to do, but I will tell her, if he's not going to marry, don't give him nothing. Do not go to bed with him. Because he's going to use you. He could be a nice man. If he's going to marry you, if you got a boy, if he doesn't marry you, leave him alone. He's just using you. I don't mean you can be a nice man or a nice woman, but what's the intent? The intent is to use you for sex or gratification. You're married to try to be together the rest of your life. And other than that, if I had a daughter, I'd tell her don't do it. In peace, she would do what she wants to do. But you'll stop a lot of men when you say, listen, you're nice, I love you, good looking, you got this, but you gotta marry me. And you better stay with me all my life. And don't cheat on me. Don't run around with other women or other, don't do that. You see, and if the man can't say that, leave him alone. Because you're just setting yourself up to be a sex partner. And you don't need to do that. It's going to mess your life. That's why people get divorced all the time. Why? They don't last anymore. You're playing house. It's not a game. It's a lot of pain in that movie. And I know, because I did it. I know what it is. I did all that. I ran around like you would not believe. Okay? Women, oh, welcome. How you going to love on women? But did it wrong. You see? That's the deal. That's not love, that's lust. You've heard that. I'm not telling you anything new, but I'm a grandfather, 75 years old. What are you going to tell me? I got 6 grandchildren. What are you going to tell me? You see? That's not to be mean or anything like that. Guys will use you, and you will use them. And if a lady comes to you and says, yeah, baby, let's go, don't do it. You'll regret it. You're going to carry that pain the rest of your life. You just keep pain, a little more pain, a little more. soon you just don't even feel it. But when you get old, you look back and say, yeah, I hurt people. I use people. You gotta be honest, you're using somebody. So I know those kind of things. I know you don't agree with it, but I mean, a lot of people don't, and who am I, you know? It's about that kind of thing. I read in the paper the other day that the people in England are using babies that they tossed out to heat the hospitals. They got 5,000, 50,000 unborn babies. They put them, now they're burning them to heat the place. That's disgusting. That's where we've come in this world. So, I don't know anything else. Maybe I should. That's it. I don't know anything else.
Well, but you play music.
I can't hear either.
Oh, okay. So
drummers, I've got a hearing aid in the mail. I don't know if it's going to help, but go ahead.
But you play music, right?
We get to the music.
Yes, let's go to the music then. And then, after all your experiences, right?
Right.
Did it influence the way you play?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, it influenced me. I played in the street, like I said. Walked all up and down Manhattan or Brooklyn, wherever it is, and it opened me up more. You drop all that self-conscious stuff, and you just start to. It influenced how I play now. I know it did. Not that it's good. I'm not saying I feel like a high school person playing. I don't feel like I'm good. But that's for people to decide whether you're good as a player. But it influenced how I play. Yeah, I'm not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Wrong notes, right notes. Yeah, I practice, but I don't know. What does it all mean to play? To me, it's worship.
It was by fault, but in a sense,
To me,
your play.
I just hope it's
yourself.
Yeah.
As you say right now, then you put it in notes.
Yeah.
Right?
My main thing about music, I just pray to acceptable to God. That's it. That's between me and. Not trying to be hip or nothing and all that. You know, I've been there with that. Yeah. But I just pray every time. I pray it's acceptable to God. And I hope I didn't offend God. I pray for that. That's all. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. You know.
So since the time you started to
You
truly
had. I
love,
can't. I'm deaf.
since the time you started to truly love people, do you feel more safe in your music?
What did you say? What? By the time I what?
You start to love people. It causes you the way you are playing. This love to others.
Does
Yeah.
it make you safe?
Yeah. Exactly.
It to me now. What, in saying love and music, I'm not saying it's all nicey. Here, let me say this. People play music like artists or do anything else. A lot of people play and they get a little style, the way they play, and that's what they play. Okay? A lot of times when it's avant-garde, it's all about screaming. Okay. Now I'm getting to a point. Excuse my drama. The way I play music, I'm not saying it's any different, is to learn as much as I can, which is never enough, You can live to be 50,000 years old and you still don't know it all. So, and to come to understand that is to find all technique that I could possibly find to let this out. Not just play on a guard, I'll play, not to bop, but to have the resource to express everything I have. No matter what's, never be limited at all. And you're always limited. You just can't do it all. So that's the constant drive, is to make sure everything I have in me is left right up there. And to show different ways, because at first avant-garde and playing was, and just you know, trying to be that. No, that's crazy. That's being a musician, trying to be a stylist. And that's not the worst. That's not. I'm not saying it's bad. No. If you had to go on a mountain top and just holler and scream and just try to get all of your life out, that's what I'm talking about. Everything out. If you were in the city and do it, they would put you in the hospital. You can't do that, of course. But that's why I say isolate on a mountain, cry as hard as you can, get all that out. All the pain that you're scared to cry in front of people, so you go home. Nah. Get mad at the Lord or the love, dude. Just get it all out and keep going. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
She gets it. That's it. That's it. I know some Polish songs. I do. We played. So he comes up. I said, "Who are you, man?" He told me, "You're from Poland, huh?" I said, "You know," he said, "Oh," so that was good. So we got him covered. And if it was him, I know Bach, we can do that. And Stravinsky, we do. It doesn't matter. They have the European music and all that. I went to the whole thing. Africa and India, it don't matter. Just to look at it. Or shout. I sing in church, I just sing, yeah, 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 yeah. That kind of thing. All of it. I want to play all of it. But in your own way. I'm not saying you got to stand up and play Bach or something, but.
So when you come to a concert, when you come to play, you come to a scene, to a club, do you know what you will play?
I can't. That's a good. Here's what I do. And don't you ever tell anybody this. What I do, it depends. There's a song, I know a lot of, we know songs and different composers or music, jazz musicians, whoever wrote what, whatever. Sometimes I want to play that. And sometimes I don't want to know. Nothing. I don't even want to know what, I don't even want to think I sounded like yesterday. It's a constant challenge. And I lose the battle every time. I mean, in other words, there is no end to it. There is no formula. Sure, I can go, we played, and I had some songs. Let's play this, let's play this, in your own way, but play. Only because it was a way of us getting to know each other instead of just going bang. And it's also for the people. I'm not playing for, I'm playing for the people. It's not for me, it's for you. I mean, besides me or somebody like me or a musician letting it out. If it wasn't for you, we would just be in the closet playing at home. It's an expression of love. I can't say everybody thinks that. I want to be good enough that you paid some money. When you walk out of there, you have to say, I got my money's worth. Because I owe you that. Not about me being selfish, praying what I expect to you walk out and say, okay, that you have, what do you call it, ice cream and cookies, whatever makes you feel good. That's it. It's for you. It's not for me, it's for God, it's for you. And knowing that everybody thinks a little different, I have to find out, I have to understand it, or somebody understands that if you put all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in there, you're going to get to somebody. It's not to impress, like, yeah, man. No. You're human. It's out of love. Not just because I love Charlie Parker. It's bigger than that. Is to be, you pay money, or you take your time, and not so much the money, you take your time out of your life, you don't get that back to come here and see somebody. I owe you. I owe you. You cannot leave here disappointed. You can't have that. You see? That's what keeps you practicing. All right? So I try to learn as much as I can. There is never enough.
If there were 3 standards of songs that you admire the most, what would they be?
Of musicians?
Pieces of music, I mean, songs, tunes,
That's a good.
the standards. I mean, the one that you like most, you admire most, means something most
My
to
mother.
you.
My mother, she sang. That I love the most who sings.
For example.
Well, just two. I mean, I like Rosetta Tharpe. I like the gospel. I like the people that sing that. And if you want to say jazz singers, Sarah Vaughan. I like Billie Holiday. She's the stylist. But I saw Sarah Vaughan. I saw all these. Sarah Vaughan.
I can imagine.
She just had it all. For me, as far as I'm concerned. Ella Fitzgerald, I like, all the rest of it. Sarah Vaughan. Yeah. Musicians, I don't. Well, Louis Armstrong. I mean, you can say the ones that are most popular, like Charlie Parker. I like Coltrane.
No surprise, in this sense. I mean, because he had this also.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, if it had to be one, it would be Louis Armstrong. Because he's the father. Buddy Bolden is really the one, but he didn't get recorded. He was before Louis. He's the one that did it. Improvisation was in the African community was an escape. Mm-hmm. It was one of the only ways to express yourself, so that came. It was very limited because improvisation was not in America until the Africans. So we got to do something. Because in the church, we sing, I sing, and like some people sing like, Amazing Grace, how sweet you are. But I go, but if you're singing, Amazing Grace, that's a different way to sing it. So that's sort of an improvisation of African. Now, Europeans had theirs, or the Spanish. Everybody got their thing. So I'm saying it's better. I don't get into any culture is better than any culture. No. But improvisation was a way, because there's so many ways, and we couldn't express ourselves. We couldn't go there and do this, and do this, and do this. You had to be contained. And the music was one of the only outs we had, because during slavery, the only time we could get together was to go to church. And then we go back and work on the plantations. We couldn't just communicate and be together and do no, it wouldn't work like that. So that improvisation or jazz came out of that. All right, now here, Beethoven, not here, but Beethoven, Mozart, they wrote, I'm not saying they didn't improvise, but they had ideas and they scribed it all down. Now, of course, they might go, they may have made that could be improvising to them, but they wrote it. We didn't write, we wrote chords or just a little map if you wanted. And then you could put more of your personality into it. That's what jazz is about. You know.
Do you see a difference? Do you see a difference how jazz is perceived in the States, in the United States, and in the Europe?
And jazz?
Yeah.
Oh, big difference. There's difference. Well, I don't. Let me just say this. Now you might not like it, but I'm gonna say it. Okay. Europeans are not Latinos. Africans are not European. Okay. Now, if you grow up, if I grew up here, I don't know what it would be like, you know, I don't know, I have no idea. I can hear the difference in an African and a European. I just cover my eyes and I can hear it in the music. All right, if somebody really can play, okay, sure. We're a product of our culture. People copy African. It's not African because it doesn't stop there. All right, jazz is African. It started and it went around the world, and everybody, avant-garde or whatever, got into it. But no, it's a difference. Why not? That's the beauty of it. If you want to look at it, you got to play black, man. Well, I mean, you don't do that. Listen, I'll show you something. You see this cap? You know who started wearing it like that? Us. Okay? You see rap? You see how it goes around? You see jazz, how it went around the world? That is our contribution to life. You see people starting to wear their pants down here? Okay? And I'm going to tell you something. I would encourage you not to have violent movies in your theaters because they're going to start carrying guns in Europe. 99% of American movies are violent. Almost 100%. If it's not cursing, it's killing. It's all about guns. And that affects kids. Okay? That's not the only thing that affects children, but violence is transported. That it's the idea when you're 13 and 14, I grew up in it. It's the idea. We follow each other, okay? Otherwise, we would all be so completely different in the way we dress. We would all be, no, we don't do that. We copy. That's how you keep societies together. They sort of stay in the same thing, okay, to be acceptable with each other. But the minute You walk down the street, put a clown nose on, big feet, walk the people, oh, you're different. Most people are not different. They do the same as everybody else does. Okay. That's the deal with that. I know you take it lightly, but I can't look at violence. I couldn't look at violence. I tell you, I can't. Somebody got, I'm not, because I know it, I grew up in it. You see?
I have one more question here.
Go ahead.
Out of, you recorded number of records. Which one is the one you are the most proud of? The one that you would love us to have?
I don't listen to me at all.
You listen to yourself?
The only time I listen to, I don't even listen, I don't even think about me. I just put, the only time I have to listen is if I'm in the studio and I have to hear it back. Otherwise, I throw my records out. Go and give them away. I don't want them. I'm not interested in me.
But we are interested in you.
I mean, what I'm saying is, I'm not, I don't know why. I can't even maybe answer that, but I'm not interested in looking back on what I do. When I hear myself, that was dead. I don't worry about it. No, that's not for people. They buy records. It's not about Charles. It's about music. That's why I put a clown nose on one day. Mm-hmm. I looked in the mirror and said, enough of that. To get away from me. So no. You're not interested in me. That way. I know you know, people know you around the world, they do all, I understand all that. You know, and I'm very thankful for it. That hopefully I didn't offend anybody, but I'm not interested in, that was to me, that was, yesterday's music is yesterday. So I threw away most of the stuff I have. Not to be different, just I'm not interested in it. That was yesterday. I'm interested in today. You see?
You know, if there is something good, people would like to come to that back, you know, to have this record, you know, to have to play it more and more and so on, right? So this is not, in my opinion, that you can just forget what you've done and throw it away. I mean, there's a value in that anyway.
There's a value?
Yes.
I'm certainly there's a value. That's not what I'm not trying to diminish that, no. It's a beautiful thing to play for people.
Yes.
I just leave it at that. It's a privilege to me to get on airplanes and get them all around different parts of the world. I mean, it's hard to talk about it because most people never get a chance to do that. And if I get braggadocious, I know most people, I've been in so many countries, so many times, in different parts of the world. Who does that? Some people have to spend the rest of their life and take part of their life savings just to go on one vacation. So I don't talk about music to people. They say, you've been yet? I say, I won't yet. But I know musicians say, yeah, look at me, man, I got this, you know. It's not to knock that. You know, listen, that's not what I'm talking about. That's fine if you do that. The first thing somebody said, where you going? I said, well, I gotta go to Poland, I gotta go there. They said, can I get in your suitcase? That's the first thing they said. Can I get in your suitcase? When I first started hearing that, that told me something. Listen, the less you say is the better. Let the people be at peace as they are. You know? Oh, I've been to Poland, I went to Mexico, I went to Japan. Yeah. People do that. That's fine for them. I just say I'm a musician. I go once in a while. Let it go. Because people get jealous. Or they think, oh, he thinks he's... And that's human nature to do that. We all get jealous. Jealousy is part of who we are. No. You think you got a nice suit on and you're walking and another guy walks in like, he got it. And everybody's looking at it. Hey, you feel bad. It's normal. That's what I'm saying. I'm very thankful, that's all. And that's between me and I'll leave it at that. Just want to be good, hopefully play good. Hopefully. If people think it's good, fine. If they don't, I'll try to improve. That's all I can do. But, you know, the music, and I'm finished. The music, I'm thankful to grow up and have seen most of the people, you know, play. I met Coltrane play. I met everybody. Talk to them. You know, that, when you're young, that's a big deal. You know, I like Art Tatum. Big time. You know, I learned a lot. So that's all I know. Music. I mean, if you want to talk to you need to talk to a musician that really talks music. I don't talk music too much. I know music, but I saw Coltrane. I said, oh my God. Instantly jealous. Instantly like, you feel like I had to get past them. Charlie Parker. Oh man. Oh, yeah. You're still trying to learn to skate. I mean, that can defeat you. So what do you find out? You find out people playing, they try to sound like Coltrane. No, you don't do that. You can't, there's only one Coltrane. Don't try to sound like that. You see, I don't listen to music. TV, no music, never. Because why? Remember, it just kicks in. Not improvised music, some other music or something. But to listen to jazz and stuff, I can't say I never, but I might listen to 2 songs on the radio, 3 a month, just to listen. I don't want to be influenced by music, I want to be influenced by life. Music will take care of itself. That's all I know.
Interesting. Thank you.
It's a lot.
Are we done?